The World Bank exists in a certain context
Yeah.
where there's a rules-based order. What are you making of everything that's happened this past week and over the last several months in terms of tariff being used as a principal economic lever to influence policy? How do you come out on that?
Remember, we don't get involved with trade in that sense.
Sure.
We get involved with helping countries be competitive for trade. But the tools of trade, the WTO is a whole other organization. You'll get a much better thoughtful response to tariffs from Ngozi than you will from me. My view is very simple. My view is that actually, if you think about trade over the last 20 years, and if you bear with me for 2 minutes, I'll give you some interesting facts,
Sure, please.
which most people don't think about. In the last 20 years, global trade has quadrupled. The emerging markets, which is the countries we are interested in discussing, have actually gone from 20% of that to 40%. So their share has doubled while the trade has quadrupled, meaning the emerging markets are no longer a passenger. They are an integral part of the trade ecosystem. The second is regional and bilateral deals. India has a number of them, but many countries have them. In the same 20 years, they've gone from 135 roughly to 350 roughly, almost 3 times. In the last 10 years, 10 have been signed. 100 have been signed in the last 10 years. So if you think about it, the idea of not just relying on global trade, but also doing regional and bilateral deals has become important. Third factor, the opportunity for trade within a region is not understood properly. In Africa, intra-regional trade in Africa is only 15% of their trade. In South Asia, it's under 10. You know what it is in East and Southeast Asia? 50+%. I'm not talking about Europe, which is a combination. This is ASEAN. And so I think the opportunity for a lot of countries is to think about trade differently and to think about reducing your own tariffs, because a lot of the emerging markets actually have tariffs as well, and including India, but other countries too. And then the second part is, can you reduce your non-tariff barriers? Simplification of trade, digitization of trade, reducing border challenges, things of that nature. And then the third part of that is, if you do those two things well, can you also encourage competitiveness and investment in the right industries for your future? And I think India has done pretty well on a number of these. But the topic of trade, I view from a different lens. I view from the fact that the emerging markets are now integral in trade. And you shouldn't allow yourself to get distracted by one discussion on tariffs here, which changes tomorrow. Think about what you can do in that environment to make your country prosper in this trade ecosystem.